Hello, here we are in 1938. This is where things really start picking up quite quickly. Sure. Give them some bombers, so we can get some more factory output. Why the heck not? Looks like these are training nicely, and yep, we want to keep producing synthetics. This place of 70. Infrastructure will be fine. I think we've run out of places with 80. Yes, we have. So, these are all coming along very nicely. We're going to start focusing on recruiting people into our military cabinet now. And we're getting plenty of XP for our Air Force. We can start creating some variants later on, and so we can use them for doctrine boosts, as I have been already. So we did fit a signal pump to these earlier, so we'll throw them on our infantry as well. How's our stockpile looking? Not great, not terrible. Okay, let's see. Let's get... No, I don't really care for any of these. I'll just get the generic one. Why don't you start... Just build another Intel network in Poland, but don't die like the other guy. So that's coming along nicely. Perfect, we can do another doctrine for our Navy with the boost. Our subs are going to be very potent for convoy raiding when the war starts. And we're going to have a hell of a lot of them in the reserve. It's going to be very nice. We're going to be able to have plenty sunk, no real effect. Anschluss is completed, and boom! Look at all of these factories we have. So now this is where we can start ramping up fighter and cast production. Delete these units, and our stockpiles are going to be full. Now we have political power. Let's invest in an infantry expert, and next we will do Reichsautobahn to get some higher infrastructure levels. And we'll keep producing synthetics until we reach April. We're going to need all of that oil. Go ahead and put a squeeze on Yugoslavia, and you see, there's all the infantry equipment that I was talking about. Nothing to worry about at all. And we're going to need 750,000 manpower, so let's just get another 24 stack of infantry coming on. That will create quite the deficit in all of our stockpiles, but you see, 250 days, 250 days-ish, and less than 200 days. So, not a huge deal. And very shortly, we will be able to start shaping our tank units. There's our tanks, and I think this is the template. Yep, this one. This will be our reserve template later on. So that's done, and we will actually research some medium SP artillery. There's more infantry, and now we're going to want to start throwing a whole lot of factories on tanks. Quite a lot, actually. Actually going to pull some fighter production off. I don't usually like to do that, but I think this time will be necessary. We'll keep those there. Get some more tungsten from the Swedes. Pull off on rubber, because we're starting to produce our own rubber. Incredible. Yes, very good. And they've suppressed the non-aligned faction in Spain. So they have secured themselves. Very good. This decryption is nearly done. And why don't we start shaping our division templates? Change all the lights to mediums. Mediums. Oops. There we go. We'll keep constantly changing those as we get more XP. We're going for 40 widths. Our infantries are 20 widths, but our tanks will be 40 widths. Let's see. Let's do now anti-tank. Or tank destroyers, I should say. Make sure that we are all good here, and actually I can probably decrease the amount of oil I am importing. Just kidding. Not yet. That's alright. So now that April has come, we can shift down production a little bit, and now we will go crazy with military factories only. Looks like some research is done, and let's start to make sure that we have these be able to research once we reach time. We'll research on the infantry artillery equipment upgrade as well, so we can get plenty on there. I'm going to want a whole lot of tanks starting to come out, as well as we're going to need just a little bit of production value on those. And like I said, we'll do this, so we can have the artillery when we are ready to research it. This is done, Autobahn is done, and now we can do Army Innovations 2. Let's see. Go ahead and do the Offense Expert. How are you coming along? Are you done training? Are you good? Yes, you are. So now these are perfect. These subs are very, very potent. And they're going to be ready to begin fighting when the fighting begins. For now, we'll just let them chill out a little bit. They've been exercising a lot. Yep, so we are just going to keep spitting out units so that we have enough to very, very shortly demand the Sudanland. That's actually the next focus we're going to be on. So how close are we? Quite close. These divisions should be done in time and probably push us up there. We need 725,000 deployed men, which I do believe we will have when the time comes. Yep, so I am actually going to cancel some of the production on this. I know they're already somewhat finished, but I really need to start cranking out the military factories. And now we have these level 100 infrastructure regions, so we can start producing there, and they'll be turning out quite quickly. There are some more divisions. We should start getting plenty now, because these are all just about done training. And I'm hoping that those alone will push us over the edge to do the focus. Oh, plenty of divisions. How many do we have in the field? Just enough. Perfect. Now, let's start doing... Yeah, let's do these industry ones first, and then we'll do rubber first so we can start weaning ourselves off the rubber trade even more. Well, just kidding, look, we're already done. But we're about to ramp up fighter production either way, so might as well keep going either way. Just gonna be a while till these are done, so I'm already gonna set these infantry divisions up on the Czech border. That has been finished, and we'll start doing construction 3. It looks like everything is coming along very, very nicely. Cipher is done for France, and so now we'll start our last cipher on the Soviet Union. Yes, this early we're starting one. What do we need? Tungsten. You know, let's keep trading with Sweden. Soon we're gonna have to start trading with Portugal, however. There's some infantry. And boom. There's another infantry leader. Let's get him on the front line of the Czechs as well. Keep producing military factories. Only military factories now. Start trading with Portugal. Let's actually stop trading with Sweden. Switch all of our trade to Portugal. Ooh, one too many. Very cool. So now we have the artillery, and let's do the tank destroyer up here too. And then we're gonna ramp up first fighter production, and then cast production, and then we are going to go nuts with tanks. We are not going to have a lot of tanks at the start of the war. We're not going to have a lot. That's okay. We don't need a lot at the start of the war. At all. Mainly for when we fight the Soviets is when we'll be needing a lot. Go on, concentrated. Get all of the industry boosts. Throw another medium tank in there. Boom. And now, time for demand Sudanland. We have enough men, and it's about the time to do it, so we are going to do it. And to get some more air XP, let's deploy another 500 fighters and start exercising them. Keep moving our infantry up to the front line against the Czechs. And hey, we just finished army innovation, so look at all that XP. Yes. Our tank divisions are going to be huge. Huge, huge, huge 40 widths. We're not going to have enough XP to have them be shaped exactly how I want them until after France and the UK are all dead, but that's not a huge deal, I don't think. And a little bit more rubber. Why not? Like I said, even though we are weaning ourselves slowly off the rubber trade, our fighter production and our cast production is quite significant still, so the amount of rubber we're going to have is insane. And our stockpiles are doing really, really, really well. I'm actually going to take all these off here now. And they'll be going towards air production, and then we will be shifting every single other military factory we have just about, besides maybe 5 more mills, towards fighters. All of it is going to be going to our tanks. We have just enough political power almost to get another advisor. Very nice. Our military staff is already quite powerful. Let's get the logistics expert, since we may be attritioning quite hard in the Soviet Union and maybe in Africa when we dump divisions down there also. So there's that, and now we can start researching these better models of infantry equipment and of artillery. So now we are just going to be going crazy with tanks. And we're going to be needing a lot of tungsten out of Portugal. That is for sure. I also will start looking for alternate places to trade, because initially, when we declare war on France, our land border is going to be cut, so we might have some troubles getting some of that, because obviously the UK will be sinking our convoys. So now that we have all these reserve subs too, about this time, so we have about 23 in reserve. Since we're going to be needing convoys for trade, since we're going to be having quite a few sunk, I can imagine, we're going to get some more guys going on convoys. So we have enough to deal with that when it hits. And we're still building a nice fuel stockpile, that's why we're keeping the trade going. It's just so when the war starts, we have a stockpile, because our fighters and CAS are going to be engaged at all times, and the very few tanks in the field that we have will be fighting and active. We'll actually stop production here, because our stockpile, I can imagine, 500 days. It's because our production efficiency cap is so low, but at the same time, I just don't want to have to deal with supplying another one. We'll start the Vienna Award. And our advisor for Captain of Industry, he's gone because of that focus we just did. Not a huge deal, because we're done building civs and refineries en masse anyway. Now we're doing mills, so we can get this guy right here, military factory boost, or war industrialist. So yes, we have successfully demanded Czechoslovakia from the Allies, and all is going well. And actually, let's begin. We're going to turn that down to 10 width later on. Very weak, but they're just hole fillers, line pluggers, and someone to sit on my ports. We're also going to produce 24 just to sit in Africa. You don't need to do this in a multiplayer game, but in single player, the Italian AI likes to wander a decent amount. So you may run into some troubles with that. Now, look at the deficit of infantry equipment we have. That is panic-inducing, honestly. Let's get more fighters going. Panic-inducing, isn't it? But, do not worry. You'll see very shortly that we are not going to be having a problem with that at all. Very shortly. We'll keep building in our territory that has 70 infrastructure. Getting a nice amount of mills now. Our industry is rapidly expanding. And actually, we're going to build 24 more frontline infantry as well. Was that ours, or did we capture one? Wow, what is happening over here? All of our boys are getting captured. Too bad I don't care. And we're going to expand more motorized. Yep, how was our fighters coming? Yep. Once we get 25 on that and 10 on that, that's usually the ideal amount of factories you want for your air production. You want a lot more fighters than you have CAS, because they're going to get shot down more and you're just going to need more. Now we go ham with tanks. Lots and lots of tanks. Start trading some aluminum with Hungary. Because we have so many fighters going, we need that aluminum. And keep moving these guys up. Yep. Low on manpower. We'll have to do something about that soon. That'll be the thing we do after we get our war industrialist, I think. Yep, and we still have the MIFO bills going too, so this is insane. You get so many construction bonuses with this. It's insane. First Vienna War, done. Fate of Czechoslovakia. Now, this is where all of our equipment deficits are remedied quite quickly. Start researching the MP40. And then we'll be able to do upgrading our companies quite shortly. And we have enough political power for our war industrialists. Very cool. Artillery is done. And how far ahead does that vary? That's all fine there, and now we'll do some doctrines, and then we'll focus on boosting our research on our support companies. It looks like we're running low on something. No, I was mistaken. We're about to be running low on tungsten, though. Yep. Keep it all coming. Yep, so we have quite the deficit of support. A decent deficit in artillery. Not too bad. And a hell of a deficit in infantry command, but that is not to worry about. This is only 95 days, just fine. 3,000 days. What's this? 300 days. Yeah, so this is all looking very nice. Medium tanks. We are probably going to be able to produce one more before the war starts. That's just fine. We don't need a lot at all. Yeah, 200 some days, that's very nice. And our motorized is still doing very, very well, which pleases me. Construction is done. Now, instead of keeping and doing more doctrines, I think we're going to do some of these company upgrades. These are very important. We'll get nice entrenchment boosts and nice recon boosts with these, and I think we're going to be wanting those. Yep, keep these coming. And, well, look at that. We have reached January 1939. So, you see, things got very interesting in 1938. We started making demands, getting territories, and our economy is finally moving along. So, in the 1939 video, I'm sure you all know what happens then. Very exciting stuff to come. See you shortly.